Conservative new media viewers, J-Lin fans around the world, what's up? It's me, PFA Paul F. Villarreal, the NBA expert, and we're here to discuss the Brooklyn Nets' 100-97 defeat tonight to the Boston Celtics in Brooklyn and New York City. Brooklyn falls to 1-3 in the preseason, and the Celtics improved to 3-1 during the preseason for themselves. What happened in this game? What happened was Brooklyn had the lead late. They were up by a couple of points, and they just weren't able to execute on a couple possessions down the stretch. Boston made the most of their opportunities, and Boston retook the lead, and they were able to hold Brooklyn off as Brooklyn missed a three-pointer near the buzzer that would have tied the game. First, I'll go over the game, and actually, no, let me just say these two quick points that came up before tonight's game. One, Randy Foye, who is a new member of the Brooklyn Nets, was raving about J-Lin, saying, oh, he works so hard, I think he's going to shock a lot of people. That's really good to hear. Everybody who knows Jeremy knows that his work ethic is incredible. I mean, that's one of the reasons why he's in the NBA and doing as well as he is. He works extremely, extremely hard. Great to hear Randy Foye say that. Also today, we heard comments from Kevin McHale about J-Lin. Kevin McHale was talking to the New York Post. He said that Jeremy has improved a great deal. He kind of gave a scouting report about what Jeremy does well, what his strengths are, this type of thing. Look, a lot of people were not happy with how Jeremy was treated by Kevin McHale. I am and was one of those people. McHale is certainly correct that Jeremy's a lot better now than he was when Kevin McHale coached him. I don't think there's any question about that. Jeremy himself has said that. If you've watched his game, he has definitely improved pretty remarkably since his time in Houston. McHale said he's a better shooter. He understands the game better. He plays better, and so forth. And I agree with all of that. Jeremy is way better now than he was, and that's what you would expect. Now, we've talked about before, it takes point guards longer to develop because there's more responsibility for a point guard, particularly on offense. Steve Nash, as I've said many times, did not become fully Steve Nash until he was about 30 years old or so. Well, Jeremy just turned 28, I think it is. So Jeremy's doing just fine, and he's improved dramatically, and we're seeing it right now. So I wanted to say that. Now let's talk about the game. Kenny Atkinson, late in this game, did not have a lineup on the court in order to try to win the game. In other words, he didn't have his best players out there, and to be fair, neither did Boston. But he's experimenting with things, and this is what you expect in preseason. What I really liked about this game for Brooklyn was they moved the ball well, they shared the ball well, and they had balanced scoring and balanced passing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 Brooklyn Nets were in double-figure scoring tonight, and their Randy Foye had 8 points, Gravis Vasquez 7 points, and Sean Kilpatrick 7 points. So there was 3 more guys that were close to being in double figures. This is what they're going to need to do. It's going to have to be by committee, and when they're playing well, it's going to look a lot like this, I think. This is what Kenny Atkinson wants to do, which is almost like a Spurs type of a deal where it's not one superstar with 50 points and everybody else has like 8 points or something. You need this type of distributed scoring and distributed passing throughout the game. The only negative in tonight's game and overall from the team is they didn't shoot the three well, they did not shoot the three well, and that had a lot to do with Boston. They didn't shoot the ball overall well, which also had a lot to do with Boston. And they turned the ball over too much. They had 23 assists on 33 made field goals, which is very good. But they also had 18 turnovers. And you don't want that type of a ratio between assists to turnovers to be close to 1-to-1, and that's pretty much what it was tonight for the Nets. So the turnovers were the problem. Let's just go over Jeremy's stats here very quickly. 12 points, 2 rebounds, 7 assists, 2 steals, 2 turnovers, plus 11 and plus minus. Played 27 minutes, shot 3 of 7 from the field, including 0 of 3 from three-point range, 6 of 9 free throws. So Jeremy actually had more free throw attempts than he had field goal attempts. And let me also say, Jeremy had at least 4 unconverted assists, and he also had 3 assists that became fouls, where he passed the ball to a guy and the guy was going up to score and the guy was fouled. So there's 7 more assist opportunities in there to go along with the 7 assists that he actually did have. I thought Jeremy played fantastic tonight. I thought he played excellently. He's going to have nights like this where he's not going to shoot a lot. He's not going to look to score a lot, but he's going to be more of the distributor. I think he's going to need to do that. Honestly, they're going to lean on him heavily for both scoring and passing. They're going to need both of those things for him, so don't worry. He will get plenty of opportunities to score. What was nice in this game, too, though, was Luis Scola, 5 assists, Gravis Vasquez, 4 assists. Scola had a terrific game overall. 14 points, 11 rebounds, 5 assists in just 28 minutes. Scola has been playing professional basketball since he was 15 years old. They said that tonight during the broadcast. He is now 36 years old. So you're talking about somebody with incredible amount of experience. Luis is one of those guys. He's a veteran. He doesn't jump that well. He's not a super athlete, although he's not a bad athlete. He's so smart. He just understands the game extremely, extremely well. Tonight was him at his best. If he can play at 80% of this level that he did tonight and play like that for the season, that will be fantastic. That will be a big help because he is able to be a distributor as he was tonight. And he can be that maybe that third distributor to go along with Jeremy and with Gravis. Gravis Vasquez, he's one of the things you notice about him quickly when you watch him play is he doesn't have quick feet. That's the main knock on him, is he's really slow on defense in particular. He's not a great shooter, and he's very deliberate in what he does. He's kind of a little bit slow in his movements. One thing Gravis can do is he can pass the ball. That's his great skill. He's an excellent passer. So they're going to have to work with him. They are going to have to help him on defense, but he definitely can help distribute the ball. And he's going to be probably the secondary guy doing that for the team behind Jeremy. So they're going to need him. And he had some good moments tonight. He had some struggles tonight too, but there's definitely a place for him despite his deficiencies. Going back to Jeremy, he played smart tonight. He played under control. Don't worry about the 0 for 3 from three-point range. It's basically like a law of averages thing. Jeremy came into tonight in 2 preseason games shooting 7 of 11 from 3. So he was 0 for 3 tonight. That makes him 7 of 14 so far for the preseason. That's 50%. Well, pretty much nobody shoots 50% on three-pointers for a season. So Jeremy's doing just fine. The first 2 three-pointers that he took tonight were both short. So this is what we talk about in terms of the legs. And the legs, that's why Jeremy changed his form. Try to take the legs out of the equation a little bit more. So tonight wasn't his night. No problem. The third three-pointer that he missed was better arc. Looked good. Just a little bit long and to the left. But like I said, that's the only thing you can say at all about his game. I thought his defense was good. Isaiah Thomas wasn't able to really do a tremendous amount against Jeremy. Isaiah shot 4 of 12 from the field, and I think Isaiah was an all-star last year. And Jeremy and Isaiah have battled over the years, and Jeremy is a good defender against Isaiah. Jeremy was mostly under control. There was a couple, maybe 2 plays where they were kind of close to being turnovers, but they were not turnovers. 7 assists, 2 turnovers, 3.5 assists to 1 turnover ratio. That's fantastic. I thought Jeremy just looks really good. He's looking very good this preseason. This is the right role for him. He wants to lead. He wants to be a starter, and you're seeing it. And I think it's going to get better and better. The team is looking for him, and they're relying on him. There was another moment in this game tonight where they did another isolation for Jeremy in the corner. In the previous game, it was in the right corner. In this game, it was in the left corner. I can't remember. So probably the third quarter. Jeremy went, he backed down his man and did a fadeaway jump shot over him, which missed. But they're going to look to Jeremy to be a scorer. We've talked in the past about Jeremy continuing to develop his one-on-one moves so that he can score in those situations. The limitation for Jeremy in the isolation plays like that is Jeremy's not explosive. He's not an explosive jumper. He's super explosive in running, speed, vertical, going from point A to point B on the ground, but he's not a super jumper. So then you have to continue to work on your moves so that you can get separation between you and your man, go over the top, etc. For example, Kobe's explosive jumper, or he was before the Achilles injury. You could be right on him, and he could just jump over the top of you and get 12 inches above you, and he can release the shot, and you can't do anything about it. Jeremy doesn't have that advantage, so he has to do more stuff closer to the ground. He's worked on it a lot. He will continue to work on it. It's something that he wants to further refine that'll make him even a better scorer in those isolation type situations. Boston is an excellent team. I mentioned earlier that their defense had a lot to do with how the Nets shot the ball tonight. Boston is extremely deep. They're super coached. They have a great coach in Brad Stevens, one of the top coaches in the NBA. They're a very good team. They're a top 5 defensive team last year. I was just really happy to see the Nets play the way they played tonight. They hung right there with them when the starters were on the court, and that's a really good sign. Really, really good sign. If you're a Nets fan kind of looking for clues as to how the team might perform this year. As the announcers said during the game, the Nets announcers, which tonight were Ian Eagle and Mike Fratello. Fratello said, looks like the Nets are going to be better than what people think, which I agree with that, and I've said that. And Ian Eagle said, the Nets are going to play hard. Both of those statements, I think, are true, and they were borne out tonight in this game. Nets believed they could win this game. There's a couple moments when the second unit was on the court where it was kind of a little bit of hang your head, and Boston went on a run. Remember, most of these players on the Nets roster are cast-offs. They're either young players or they're players that haven't made it in other places. So there's a little bit of kind of learned helplessness there. They're used to losing or being kind of pushed aside. But despite that, I think as a group, you're seeing that this is a pretty tough group, mentally pretty tough. And I think this is going to be a team where the whole of the parts is greater than the individual pieces put together. McHale mentioned it in his remarks today. Look, you can have teams that are not supposed to do well, which is where the Nets are at right now, and they do much better than what you think, where you can have teams where they underachieve even though they're not supposed to do anything. So you're supposed to win 20 games and they win 15 games. This looks like a group that's going to go the other way. That looks like it's going to go with extra wins more than what you think, and that's because your leaders are tough. Like Scola, like Jeremy, like Brooke. These guys there's something there, and you can feel it building. Like I said, they looked like they expected to win tonight for most of the game, and just the body language and everything. They felt like they should win. That's good because Boston is a good team. I'm just really pleased to see that. Brooklyn needs to continue to work on their defense, although they did hold Boston to 100 points. It's not bad. I haven't looked at the offensive ratings. It's a calculation, just kind of a ratio. I haven't had a chance to do that yet, but the defense was pretty good tonight. They held them to 100 points, which is a whole lot better than the last game when they gave up, 121 to Miami. So that's an improvement. And the final thing I want to say is you can expect, in my opinion, you can expect a deep rotation for Brooklyn. In other words, I think they're going to play a lot of players during the season. Some guys will use a rotation like 8 guys or 9 guys. 9 guys is pretty much a pretty solid number for teams to use. I think with Brooklyn, you might see that larger. Maybe it's 11 guys. Part of it is because of some lack of talent, but I think a lot of it is that Brooklyn wants to play at a fast pace. If you play fast, it's good to have a deep team where you can sub in guys and keep them fresh. I have a feeling Brooklyn's going to play like that this year, where they are going to use a couple more guys in the rotation than some other teams might. That's about it. Like as I said, look, I thought Jeremy played great in this game. I did. You can always nitpick on this or that, but he played a really good game. He's in command. He's playing smart. One time he came down the court and he recognized that he had a young defender on him. He just went right to the basket, got the layup and won. And he looks confident. He looks happy. I'm excited. Look, we have 2 more games now in this exhibition season. 2 more games that don't count. But I like where the Nets are heading. I like the way things are building up. So I'm interested what other people think about tonight, and we'll see what you say in the comments, and I'll come down to the comments. But I'm pretty pleased about what happened tonight. Very pleased, actually. This is a nice outing, I thought, for Brooklyn tonight. Okay, the next game coming up in the preseason will be 4 days from now, on Monday, October 17th, and it will once again be against the Boston Celtics, and it will take place in Boston, Massachusetts. The game will be at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time here in the United States, and I believe it will be broadcast on Yes Network and League Pass, NBA League Pass, if you're not in the cities of Boston or New York, or not within whatever radius of those cities that you get their local broadcast games on your local cable. And look, let's line it back up again. Let's see what we get. I'm interested to hear what the players and what Coach Atkinson has to say after the game. I heard Luis Scola interviewed right after the game. He was very positive, very focused, and knows what the team. He's definitely, I said, he's ready to dig in and go to work. And you have a guy like that. You have a guy like Jeremy. It's the exact same way. And it's like you can have some positive responses and positive outcomes when you have guys that are really ready to go to put in the work that you need to. And they're not self-satisfied. They're motivated. They want to get better and better. They don't care what anybody thinks the record should be. And I do think that the team is starting to take on that identity and can build on that going forward. That is it for now. Hope you're having a great night, a great day, wherever you are around the world when you watch this video. Take care. Hopefully we'll talk to you in just 4 days from now when it's rematch between these 2 teams one more time.